Hello, we're here with Daniel Povey, and today we're going to ask him a question from our YouTube channel. Question one: I'm trying to optimize my data in additional to the standard cases. What should you pay attention to? Examples: should the sound begin/end with silence?
Well, firstly, the length should probably not be more than 30 seconds. We normally try to make sure the length is not more than that. Uh, Other than that, it can be pretty much any length. Probably not less than 1 or 2 seconds, but it depends what your data is about. Uh, I think it's a good idea to start with at least a little bit of silence. You don't want to start in the middle of a sentence. There should ideally be a little bit of silence. It's good to have some variety in the length of silence, so that sometimes there's a lot of silence because then the model will learn to deal with different amounts of silence.
Next question. Question two: what should you do if some foreign words are not recognized? Not recognized incorrectly, but just no word recognized at all. I suspect these are missing from the training data or are too far away from other words.
Well, RNNT models do have a tendency to just delete things when they're not sure about what's being said. And I think if a word is foreign and hasn't been seen in the training data much, that's kind of what we expect. I'm not surprised by that. Yeah, if you want to recognize that correctly, you've got to have more data like that in the training set.
Okay, next question, question three. Sometimes the first word's characters are not recognized correctly in Sherpa-Onnx, not tested in any other system. If you speak more, the rest is recognized, but the beginning is left out. What could be the problem?
Well, firstly, make sure your code is up to date. We fixed some issue with the filter bank configuration a couple of weeks ago where some kind of top cutoff was set wrongly. If it's not that, then the type of the beam search might be the culprit. People have had a problem with a lot of deletions, and when we replaced the beam search with greedy search, that seemed to resolve it. Now, I don't know whether Sherpa now supports greedy search. There was an issue on GitHub about that, but at some point it should if it doesn't yet.
Okay, if you adjust the parameters, can you see the connection between the effects after the first epoch, or is the influence of the parameters impossible to estimate until the last epoch?
Well, I think it depends like how big the change is. Like if you really broke it, then it'll be obvious from the first epoch. But if it's a small change, you probably want to train for at least a few epochs. I mean, definitely if the results are better on early epochs, it's encouraging. But if it looks okay, you might want to train more.
I would like to train a model with 15,000 hours. Are these possible changes, or how do you find the best values?
Okay, so well, I would leave the unmasked dims the same at 256. Normally we want to leave those with that value. It's not a very important parameter actually, but
Unmasked.
the other things the other things look kind of okay. I mean, I noticed that the encoder dims and attention dims are well, the encoder dims are all the same. If this is a zip former setup, I'm just surprised that the middle ones of the encoder dims aren't larger than the others, but I mean, the change is okay, I guess. The attention dims, I wonder whether this might be an older version of the zip former, perhaps, because I don't remember anything called attention dim now. I think for the late current zip former version, we have like key value dim and num heads and stuff like that. Uh, okay, let me look at the other parameters. Num heads, zip format, downsampling factors, CNN module kernels. Uh, I mean, I think these things are okay. I might recommend to move to the newer version of the zip format. Like if you look at the latest LibreSpeech recipe. Listen, it's your choice about the size of the model. When you have more data, of course, you can have more parameters, and that will give you better results. It's going to be a trade-off with how slow it is to decode. Fortunately, the zip format is generally quite fast, but you might not want to have the outer encoder dim be too large, like having the outside ones be 448. Uh, that's gonna increase computation. I don't recall whether the older zip format lets you have different dimensions in the different stacks. I think it does. Anyway, yeah.
So you wouldn't change short chunk size or nothing?
Um,
15.
yeah, no, I wouldn't change those things.
Okay, what would you
That
change
chunk
for
stuff, I
15?
think that has to do with streaming. But this is the older setup. I don't recall exactly what they mean. Hmm.
Okay, the end. Okay, so for training
Sure.
in LibreSpeech, I think these are the parameters. Would you change any of these for 15,000? Is 15,000 a lot or a little bit?
I mean, it's quite a lot. Let me have a look. For 15,000 hours. Let me see if I just want to see if the current zip format is called just zip format, if it's like zip format one. 1 second. I'm just surprised because those parameters that he showed, uh, oh, they look, they just look like an older thing. Yeah, in this setup, there's nothing called attention dim, so I don't know where he got that. I mean, yeah, those look okay. I think. I mean, you'd have to check with the README. The max duration of 1,000, that's going to depend on how much memory you have. You might have to decrease that if you don't have enough GPU memory. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, that's it. Thank you. That was Daniel Povey.
So thanks.
Bye.